Greetings one and all, and welcome to the latest episode of the Tribble Timewarp. It is the 25th of November, a happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the US, and we will begin this episode with the revelation of a heinous crime against the Empire, one that will live alongside the reintroduction of Tribbles. Yes folks, this is Praxis Station in Kronos orbit as it currently stands on holodeck. And this is what it looks like on Tribble right now. Yeah. Did somebody forget to tighten a few bolts? Is this the Federation's revenge for the cloaking of K7? Because if so, they really botched the job. Section 31's gone downhill, if you ask me. Yeah, time was they could manage genocide on a Sunday afternoon. Now look at them, can't even get this right. Oh, and that little text box that popped up about warp signatures, that's from one of the Klingon story missions, which is odd because I don't actually have that mission in my log, so I have no idea where that is coming from. That did not happen on holodeck either. It looks as though Praxis Station may be somewhat broken. Anyway, after that shocking revelation, we will move on to the meat of the episode. The last of the Pycarnis sorties is in. And I suspect those info boxes are going to turn into one of my pet hates over the coming months. I don't mind the extra detail, I quite like it, I'm a bit of a lore freak. But do they really have to be in the middle of the screen? Anyway, let us speed to Pycarnis, and those of you who have been on Tribble will doubtless be aware that a Federation transport has been toddling around the sector completely inviolate. It has been taunting us. Well, no more, for we can finally attack it. About time. Incidentally, those of you with keen eyes will also have noticed that if you mix quantum slipstream, a Hector's wings and I believe it's a Hajj, guns and hull, the guns go through the side of the slipstream effect. That, again, it's a relatively minor bug. It's annoyance value more than anything. The convoy is ahead along with its escorts, so let us speed things up a little and cut straight to glorious battle. New warp in effect, very nice, but the only niggle with it is that you can see the particle clouds surrounding each player's ship that's used to create an impression movement. And where is my glorious battle? Where is Starfleet? Where are the escorts? Did they really send 6 unarmed, barely shielded freighters through hostile space? Well, actually the answer is yes. I can only assume they thought that these mystical force field of doom along the Pycarnis sector border was going to keep us out. Oh, how wrong they were. Yes, folks, those Starfleet engineers may well be able to turn rocks into replicators, but we can also turn replicators into rocks. So, first freighter goes down about 15 seconds in, second freighter follows shortly after, and as you have just noticed, if you have the loot window open and your weapons fire, the loot window closes regardless of whether or not you have actually nicked the crafting materials contained therein. This is a little bit of a bug. I would suggest it is certainly a little bit of a headache for me, because I have got 5 weapon systems on 2-second firing cycles. Well, 3 or 4 second firing cycles. A little hard to read the cooldowns sometimes. I don't care too much myself, because obviously I am a Lieutenant General, and I don't really need crafting materials. I have Mark 11 blue disruptors forward. Nothing I can craft is going to be able to match those, much less exceed them and be worth the effort of gathering these resources. That said, it's still just a bit of a hassle. I have fleet mates who would doubtless find that stuff quite useful. I also have a low-level science Klingon captain who could probably play with it as well, so it's a little bit of a annoyance, I suppose is the best word, to have this problem with looting. Anyway, moving on. The freighters themselves behave the same as the ones in the Ericsson raid. You knock them down to 35% health, they heave to and surrender. Obviously then you should be able to loot them, but if they repair themselves, and they will if they are given sufficient time, then they will continue to run for their jump point. Now, in theory, if you then tap a repaired freighter, it will heave to again and you can come back to it at a later time. Observe the freighter to the left, you'll see it has started to run. I switch target back, tap it a few times, and its captain has second thoughts. Let's grab some of this stuff while we're not actually shooting anything. 5 resources per. That's not too bad, I suppose. 30 resources if you could loot cleanly. However, this freighter's captain, or I suspect this freighter's first officer, has got Klingon blood, for this freighter does not surrender like it is supposed to. Yes, indeed. At least somebody in this convoy understood how things were done. You do not surrender, you do not give up your cargo, you go down with the ship. Even more impressively, he takes the entire convoy with him. Fortunately, we do just manage to loot the last freighter before a chain reaction sets off the entire convoy. Well, I suppose we got to end things with a big explosion, that's always a plus. But it's a little bit annoying to see half the convoy's cargo go up in smoke. Anyway, that appears to be it for the Picardus transport raid at present. So, what do I think? Well, the looting bug needs to be fixed. That's something of a deal breaker at the moment. And purely from terms of difficulty, this convoy needs an escort, even if it's just 1 starship per freighter group, because that's what it's got tailing it on the sect map. It would make things considerably more interesting. As it stands, well, when was the last time we had a defenceless turkey shoot of a mission? And that was that, I think it was the first part of the Starship Combat tutorial, all the way back in the Vega system as an ensign. Very, very disappointing, it has to be said. Anyway, it may well be that that was an effect of doing it on normal, which I really think ought to be renamed pathetically easy. I'm going to rerun this mission on Advanced and Elite when I get the chance. It may well be that the escorts just need to be added or that they are present on higher difficulty levels. I really hope this mission gets something that can shoot back, even if it's a Q-ship, which would make for an interesting surprise, because otherwise that is going to be boredom personified. I'll see you next time.